Good evening and welcome to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen Workshop. It is May 6, 2025, and it is 5:33 p.m. On Tuesday night. I will have the prayer. The Pledge of Allegiance will be with Vice Mayor No. Everyone will have a copy of the minutes from the March 27th workshop, the April 1st public hearing, the April 1st regular meeting, and then the budget workshops from April 3rd, April 8th, 14th, and 22nd. Then Tuesday night we will have letters of commendation from the police department. No one has signed up for the public comment period for the workshop. Tuesday night we will have the departmental reports. Then we're going to old business. Second reading ordinance 2025-10, an ordinance to amend Article 4, Section 4.010 of the Laverne zoning ordinance regarding off-street parking requirements. This received a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission on February 25th, 2025. A public hearing was held on April 1st. Does anyone have any questions? Moving on to number 6, second reading ordinance 2025-11, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2024-2025 State Street Aid Fund budget. Does anyone have any questions? Moving on to 7, second reading, ordinance 2025-12, an ordinance to amend Title 11, Chapter 6 of the Laverne Municipal Code by adding a new section 11-604 titled Wearing Masks or Facial Coverings. Second reading. Does anyone have any questions? Number 8, second reading, ordinance 2025-13, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2024-2025 General Fund budget. This is also second reading. Does anyone have any questions? Seeing none, we're going to go ahead and jump into the consent agenda, which is lengthy. We have first, approve or reject city bids or purchases. First up, we have a bid for the sewer pump station solids removal and disposal. And we have on here the cost of the small pump stations will be $16.60 each, and the cost of a large pump station will be $39.20 each. So this is a budgeted item, and actually don't see on here staff recommendation.
It's on the next page, sir.
It's on mine.
Oh, there it is. The top bar covered it up. So staff recommends awarding the bid to TPM Incorporated, the TPM Group. Does anyone have any questions? Next up, we've got the bid guardrail repair and replacement, and this is just like it sounds. Looks like the staff's recommending Reynolds fence and guardrail, and we've received 2 bids for this, and this is a 1-year bid with possible 2 1-year extensions. Anyone have any questions? Next, we have pest control services bid, and the recommendation is to bid this out to Arrow Exterminators, and they were the low bid on this. Does anyone have any questions? Next up, we've got the HGAC contract purchase. This is the fire department PPE, and purchase price is $39.10, and this is our regular PPE for the fire department. Does anyone have any questions? Next, we have Sourcewell contract purchase, mower for maintenance department, and this purchase would be a Hustler mower, and it's coming out of Murfreesboro. Purchase price is $89.15, and there should be available funds in the parks budget for the fiscal year. Does anyone have any questions? Next up, we've got a GSA contract purchase, copying machine leases for multiple departments. So you've got a breakdown here. You've got city administrator, the fire station 3, the police department, the library. You've got, those are our current issues, and then we've got the proposed solutions in here, and it does add in economic development, and the public works inventory control area. Does anyone have any questions? Moving on to 7, pre-purchase new sign machine and equipment for the street department. This is not currently in the budget, so it does require BOMA approval, but this is essentially for a new sign machine. They make them for all the different ones. Doug, who does that over there? Stefan. So it makes all the different various signs, whenever they need to be replaced or they get damaged. Total cost for the equipment is going to be just under $15,000. This will be paid out of the street department budget. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, moving on to 8. Approved purchase fabrication services for the fire department training site. And this is $24,000 purchase for services and materials. Includes windows, door frames, roof decking, handrails on the upper floor of the walkways. This is all for the new training facility off of Mason and Bain. Does anyone have any questions?
I just want to say I've been out there and watched the trainees, I think twice, and it's awesome. So on the next cycle, when they start doing that type of training, fire suppression training, maybe let some of the board know so they could, maybe go out and look at it and observe what they do.
Happy to do so.
Okay, thanks.
Number 9, amend emergency purchase, change orders number 1 and 2 for the fire system replacement at the library. And this is just like it sounds. It's 2 change orders to the library fire suppression. The total cost of the change orders, you've got change order number 1, which was $21.79. Number 2, $35.24. So the total cost for the replacement would be $27,641. Does anyone have any questions? Number 10, emergency purchase street paving on Harmony Lane due to a water line break. And I don't know if y'all have seen this. I have, and I even drove out there. It's looks like it's just collapsing in, but it's essentially we had a water break out in this area. It caused quite a bit of damage, and so to get it repaved, it'll be just under $30,000. The work will be funded out of the water department, which currently has $35,000 available. Does anyone have any questions? Moving on to B, approved facility use permit with the YMCA for the youth soccer program. David, do you want to talk about this at all? Because I know we've had this up here before with the youth soccer program. I want to say their attorneys had some changes.
Yes, sir. This came before you guys last month. You approved it. We probably jumped the gun on our end. We were using a facility use agreement that they provided us that they used with another municipality. In the meantime, they changed a legal team. Their new guy put his eyes on it, and there's a few things he wasn't really comfortable with. I think one of them was maybe he wasn't real fond of the way it said. It didn't narrow down what they were responsible for when they were on the premises. So we cleaned that up on our end. Sent it to Evan and Katie, and they approved, and that's where we're at now. So they have already signed off on this. The one you approved last month did not have their signature on it. So as soon as you guys approve it and sign it, we are good to go with them.
Okay, and this would start up August of
Start
this
up
year?
in August, and it should run through the end of October.
Well, they will facilitate all the signups and everything.
Yes, off-site, so there'll be no money exchanging hands on city property. Pretty much a turnkey operation. They'll either do it online or at the Y.
Bless you.
So we're not gonna get into anything crazy like we did last year. They're gonna have keys to the fields, they're gonna have access, so.
They will have keys to the fields. They will not be running the concession stands. So they'll be able to unlock the fields and use the restroom facilities. And they'll lock those up when they leave, but they will not be using the concession stands, so no money will change hands whatsoever.
So they'll be responsible for opening and locking the fields and the bathrooms.
Yes, sir. Well, if we're on site, I mean, we'll take care of that for them, but we're more concerned with them locking them up when they leave. So our staff generally here till 5 o'clock, and I assume they'll be on site before then.
But you see my concern,
Oh, yeah, no doubt. And, yeah, we feel confident, we feel comfortable with them. They're excited, we're excited. Hopefully the community is also.
you feel good with all this, Evan?
Yes, sir, it's good agreement.
All right, perfect.
All right,
Thank
thank you,
you,
guys.
Okay, moving on to C.
Oh, one more thing, David, is it in here? I didn't see it. Did they give us any kind of ages?
I think they are like 2 to 3, up to 10 or 12, depending on when they get on site, depending on how many fields they think they can use or what size their fields are gonna be.
All right, perfect.
But up to, probably once they get 12 years old and age out, and unless we upgrade our facilities in the future, they plan to move them back to their current location off Sam Murray Parkway.
Sorry, sir, go ahead.
Got all your questions asked?
No, but I'll come up with some.
Moving on to C, approve annual use agreement with Rutherford County Crimson Tide Youth Football and Cheerleading League. This is our annual contract with them. We've done it year over year, at least since I've been here. And so this is a flat fee, $2,000 to cover the field maintenance. They're pay it in 2 installments, and they pack that place out. Does anyone have any questions? Moving on to D, approve interlocal cooperation and mutual aid agreement for the combined Swiftwater and Urban Search and Rescue Task Force with the City of Murfreesboro and Rutherford County. This is just like it sounds. It's an interlocal agreement with Murfreesboro and Rutherford County to provide swift water rescue within the state and nationally. Does anyone have any questions? Moving on to E, approve amendment number 1 to the professional services agreement with Lamb and Associates for programming of future expansion space in the Public Works and Community Development Services facility. This was talked about at the budget workshops, and this again is just like it sounds as well. It is looking at that area, that future expansion area, and designing it out. Does anyone have any questions?
How do we know which way for them to design it out if we don't know what's going in there?
As far as, do you mean departments or?
Yeah,
This is for the programming phase, and this is for an architect to do the study that it takes to answer that question, along with several others.
so we gotta pay, how much?
$26,500. And this, they're gonna talk to the department heads, they're gonna talk to the city managers, talk to y'all, discuss it, and then once we've figured out exactly who goes in there, they will continue on. They will do a schematic layout of what it's gonna look like, and then they'll do a construction estimate.
And then that will go out to bid.
Then we start the design, the final design process, and that's what will
Then
go
it
out to
goes out to bid.
Yes, sir.
I guess we don't have a choice.
Step 1, basically, of this,
Exactly.
and a long listing of steps.
Thank you, Gary.
Next up, F, approve professional services agreement with World Architects and Engineers for the design of renovations for Fire Station 43. Again, this is pretty straightforward, just like it sounds. It's for professional services to basically to look at the renovations and design that out for Fire Station 43. Any questions on that? Moving on to G, approve engagement agreement with Farah Bates Barexa. And this is in regards to some of our legal cases. You can see this in your summary sheet. Any questions? Next up, we've got H, and this is also an engagement agreement with Farah Bates and Barexa. Then we move on to I, approve engagement agreement with Howell and Fisher PLLC. These are all G through I are tied together. And then moving on to J, approve a contract to audit accounts from Blankenship CPA Group PLLC for the fiscal year 2024-2025. Again, this is something we do every year as far as auditing the city fiscal year. And this year it's with Blankenship CPA Group. Total cost is $46,500. Does anyone have any questions on that? Moving on to new business. First reading ordinance 2025-14. An ordinance of the City of Laverne, Tennessee, adopting the annual budget and tax rate for the fiscal year 2000, beginning July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. And this is set for first reading. This does have no property tax increase in it. The last rate was 0.5363 per $100 of assessed value on real and personal property. It goes through the stormwater user fee of increasing that by $1, which it's not been increased since 2005. I believe it was stated at our budget workshop. And then it's got the increases for water and sewer. Does anyone have any questions? We did have one item come up with regards to finance that was not discussed at the budget workshops. And Danielle, if I get this name wrong, please correct me, but it was accounting audit or?
AP coordinator.
AP coordinator, I'm sorry. And that is to work with our payables.
Correct.
And ensuring that we reconcile everything to the right billing code and billing item. Did I explain that correctly?
Yes.
It's called what?
AP coordinator.
AP coordinator.
Yes, sir.
And what do we do with that particular thing right now?
It doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist.
So there are some drops with that reconciliation. And that's what this is trying to address. And it's believed that this is going, we with the funds available and the shifting of one personnel, the temporary employees that are basically where we've been working with them, that time is expiring, that there's funds available in that budget to cover this. So it'll wind up being neutral towards the budget.
So that will be in the budget for us to look at later?
Should be in, do you have the capital items? I know you were printing them, Bruce, but do we have those?
Yes, it's in the packets. The capital list starts on page 286 of the packet. And on the second page of that, about halfway down, is the beginning of the personnel request, and you'll see the finance department position listed there.
Sorry, I thought you'd printed it out.
I did, but I didn't bring them in.
See, that's me jumping the gun there. But that's the only change from what was discussed at the 4 budget meetings or budget workshops that we had. That wasn't presented beforehand.
Bruce, remind me the amount that was needed to secure the bonds for the roadway improvements we were discussing.
We are looking at a $25 million bond, and if we were, you talking about the property tax increase to cover that?
No,
or-
just what was we would need 2 million to secure those bonds, is that what I'm remembering?
Correct. The estimated bond payment for principal and interest is around 1.875 million. And so we're proposing to transfer 2 million into the streets capital to cover that bond payment for this next year.
And I don't know, is now an appropriate time to talk about any recommendations that I might have with changes to the budget? Okay.
This
So-
is
because
the whole point of the workshop is to talk about it,
I
so,
don't want to, I'm
for
trying to
everybody.
make sure I'm staying legal here. I don't know what the
You're at an advertised meeting, so you're good.
So, I mean, looking at the big scheme of things, and we were talking about moving offices to the Public Works Building, and that potentially with renovation, the architect's fees being $2 million, it would make sense to me to put that on hold so we could secure the bonds needed for road construction. I mean, we're talking about wants versus needs here, I feel a little bit. Yes, I want our staff members to work in a good work environment, but I think the need for infrastructure and roadway improvements for the safety of the community should be a little bit more of a priority here.
I don't disagree with you about the principle. There's also, though, the need for the police department for their offices because they are out of space. I don't know if you've been over there, but they have literally converted every closet, every space into working space. They used to have, I want to say, was it a break room or was it a changing room that y'all last changed?
We had locker rooms that were changed into storage and office space. Like you said, closets. We're not, when it comes to any renovation plans for this area, I wouldn't be looking to create office space. I would be looking to create critical spaces for us to use for like evidence storage and things of that nature. We are, in fact, I just looked at our evidence storage yesterday, and we are packed to the gills. And I just had discussions yesterday also with the district attorney about how to handle some reports and other things, and it appears as though that we may have to, implement a strategy where we will be inventorying more items as evidence, which will require more space, only for the, to make sure that all of our cases are, prosecutable. But I'm not looking to create office spaces so people are more comfortable. I'm looking to create working spaces that will allow us to do our job better and more, just more effectively. One thing that we're missing right now is we don't even have a drawing room. If we have, a shooting, a stabbing, or anything where we have bloody clothing or anything like that, we do not have any place for us to store that and have it dried so that we can then package it properly for DNA and everything else. So we're doing the best we can with the space we have, but we are woefully behind in terms of technology and abilities.
And what this is doing is the thought is it's not trying to get them into new offices. It's trying to put a Band-Aid on the situation with space for the police department, which going ahead and building out that police department is as far as a new building, is a $43 million investment from what has been put together. And that is, if you look at our diagram, that's a couple of years off. This puts a Band-Aid from going ahead and pulling the trigger to do it now while all of the road projects are going on, and gives us a few years to be able to work with it to get projects done so that it frees up more money versus trying to do everything all at once.
So, I know at the budget meeting, this was a good idea that we did bring this up during workshop and talk about it. I think it's a valid point. I know we talked about building this out back here and moving things over to the new building and so on and so forth. So let's forget about the new building at the moment and see what it would take to make some space here. And I don't know, I'm no architect. I can slim a hammer over and get them offices back there up this way and then give the police back here. That would be certainly, wouldn't be a big Band-Aid, but it would certainly be a Band-Aid enough to, because with this economy and the way things are right now, I think we need to tighten our belts on certain things, and absolutely nothing against police. Oh my God, don't even go there. But at the same time, we gotta watch a little bit of money. So, but with what's left back here, which is what, is HR here?
Yes,
HR gone, or they here?
HR and finance, city administration, and then court is in the back, and we've talked about moving them up to the front.
Right. So if you put that stuff up there, Bruce's office and all of that up that way, and then make this back here into some police, that should give you at least enough breathable room to start, and then next year, if things are better, then we can start with we'll already have the design, is that correct, Gary? For the new building, we'll already have it, and that will save us a bunch of money.
I mean, I'm just throwing ideas out here, but has anybody put the multi-purpose building in discussion with this?
Well, that was incorporated in some of the plans, but I know that there are other people that have other plans for that space, and so, I'm not at, that's well above my.
It's been discussed a couple different times using the multi-purpose. It would have to be repositioned, or the inside would have to be redone because it's a giant echo hall. But that would also, at the same time, eliminate public usable facilities.
But what about evidence storage? If they're just storing things, it's.
Still has to be securely stored, and some of it, if and this is hypothetical, I'm not saying you would be storing this down there, but if there are drugs or different things that have different odors, you have to store those in a way that that's not going to permeate the area. Is that fair to
Chief,
say?
please educate me, because I know virtually nothing about what you do. So,
Okay. Well, in terms of evidence, we would be required by law to have, a space that is secured, that has to have proper ventilation. That will cost a little extra. You have to make sure that when we do have narcotics or anything like that, that it's ventilated. We do have ventilation in the storage space that we currently use as our evidence lockup, but it's only good enough for that square footage. And again, that is really, we have utilized every single inch of space in that room. We've mounted bars on the wall so we can hang things up, and there's just really nowhere else for us to go with that. So in order for us to move forward, I would feel comfortable with an area in this building, but would have to be secured, it would have to be alarmed. It's very close proximity to the police department. If you had something in the multipurpose building where you had storage space combined with a space open to the public, I would have grave concerns
Sure.
about that. Just would not be a good idea to have the public being in the same area where we're storing, evidence from crimes and potential narcotics and things of that nature. So, is it ideal to have a storage space over here? No, I'd rather it be in-house.
right.
Stranger things have happened, but an officer might drop a piece of evidence walking across the parking lot, and, that would be bad. But really, we don't have anywhere else to go in that building. We just don't. The last office that we created, it was part of the women's locker room, and it was adjacent to the shower and the bathroom. And we walled off a doorway and created an office for one of our people.
Chief, as presented with the present plan of putting giving some room on in this building, are you comfortable with that? I mean, is it going to suffice for what your present needs?
Well, I haven't been given any specific, like, square footage for this building, and I would like to have those conversations, but anything is better than what I have, anything. And we're not talking an incredibly large room that I would need. I'm thinking something that would be maybe 40 feet by 20 feet would be doubling my space for evidence. And I could keep some evidence still in the PD, but I could have some evidence here. And then we could free up, maybe some space for, an operating area. Currently, we have our roll call room serves as our roll call room, our training room, and a report writing room. And anytime we have something going on, the officers that are writing reports have to get up and step out for briefing or things of that nature. It just takes longer for us to write reports and do our job the way that it should be done. But any space will be welcome.
Well, I personally am 100% against the multi-purpose building. That's for city services for our citizens, so they can rent it and have stuff. But I feel like if we could get this part of City Hall up in that area up there and then put doors up and make this back here secure, the police wouldn't be perfect.
I'm not sure there's enough up front to put everybody, just
No,
because,
there's none.
Andrew, you have 3?
Yeah, 4.
That's what I just asked. Is HR over at the new place?
No,
They're
we're
here.
still here.
Okay, that's what I
HR,
asked.
finance, and the city administrator.
Court,
Court is in this building, and Jules is sometimes in this building.
PIO would
City
be here.
reception is still here.
PIO is here, yeah. That's all here. So there's not enough space in that very front area to accommodate those. Finance is already in that back area. What this is talking about is just taking those offices, with the exception of court, and moving those to the other building, and then freeing up area for PD, whether it be for their reports or their evidence, or personnel to be able to work out of. And then court would still go on here, city meetings would still go on here. That wouldn't change, and court would be a little bit more streamlined from the instance. And I don't know if any of y'all have come to city court or gotten a speeding ticket, but right now, whenever there's a judgment, they go out this door, down the hallway, and kind of look through each door trying to find the right spot. This would, if court is right here at the window, the old water billing window, they would literally walk out and go straight to somebody, and then go right on through their day.
So looking at the new building, it's gonna cost us $27,000 to figure out what can go over there. That has nothing to do with what might go over there. That would be in the millions as far as getting it ready for.
Well, a lot of it's already, it's wide open. The
Well,
drywall's
it's
done?
wide open,
The
but
sprinkler
I know
system's
in-
there, the lighting's
I know
there.
in government business, if they put a flower pot out there, they're gonna get bale meat prices for that flower pot. You'll never make me, that's why I said at the budget, common sense is nothing to
Is
this.
it the Bill Clinton hammers, the $50,000 hammers?
Exactly. I just feel like we're in a, Bruce even brought it up about there's gonna come a time and man, I don't want that to happen. We have to raise, for some reason, raise taxes or something. And, if we can get by till next budget, get the study done, figure it out. But,
Well, under this budget, it has that in there without raising taxes.
And that 2 million will cover the renovations for the PD to be in this building as well, or not?
The way we have it in here now, which you can see on the capital list, we actually have two line items. The first one is the City Hall remodel for $750,000. That would be what would be done to this building to add the bathrooms and remodel this building for the police department use. That would be after the City Hall offices move out. The next line is the move City Hall office to the Public Works facility. That's the estimated $2 million. And we obviously don't know an exact cost because we don't know what the exact scope is going to be at this time. And all of these funds are out of the existing bond issue funds that we already have. So this isn't new money that we're, going to bond out here in a few months, whenever that happens.
It's all gone quiet, so I'll sort of say something that I think the way it's presented, I think is going to function and get us through where we need to be, gets the police department going, gets where they need to be, and get the full use of the building that we've built.
I 100% agree. I'm just, we're pretty stretched budget-wise at the moment. And probably things will go up between now and next year. That'll be that.
I don't want to cause any confusion, but the existing bond items, like what Bruce said, that's coming out of existing bond money. You cannot take bond money and pay for another bond. So if we're thinking that we can not do the City Hall and save the $2 million to pay for the bond note, that can't be done. So just want to make that clear.
Yeah. Now, just because, and at the same time, just to play devil's advocate to something the vice mayor said, just because we're budgeting $750,000 or $2 million or even $700,000 on the fire station, I saw you turn your head with that one, Chief. It doesn't.
He usually sleeps through everything until you say fire station.
It doesn't. It doesn't mean we're going to spend that much. It could come under budget. We've seen that happen. Gary is very, very meticulous with everything that he does and that we've seen. So I have great faith in the work that he does.
So with everything that we're looking at here tonight, we're in the black.
Correct. There's no with this, and it's over on your summary sheet. There's no property tax increase with this. Like I mentioned, the stormwater fund is going up. That fee is going up by $1, and then the water and sewer fund is increasing per the rate study.
I do need to point out that obviously we're using existing bond issue money. We are also carrying over money from this year's budget into next year's budget. And then we are also taking some funds out of our reserves to pay for everything that's in this budget, which is what we've been talking about through this whole process.
And I want to say, and I'm trying to get back there through all of the scrolling of these pages, but
It's ridiculous.
it was the items in yellow, Bruce, for the carryover items. Was that right?
Yes, sir.
They're at the top of the items. The ADA transition plan, and the condemnation, structural demolition. And then on 287, you can see the total balances at the bottom for fund balance, carryover, existing bonds, new capital, and one-time requests, personnel requests, all of that. It's right there at the bottom. Any more discussion? move on to number 11, Resolution 2025-08, a resolution to write off Water Department bad debts. This is just like it sounds. It's about $116,000. Excuse me. You should be able to see this list. You can see what's with Fox Collections. Again, I would tell everyone, please review this list. If you know of anybody, reach out to them and have them contact our water billing department.
Seems like I ask this every year, but I'm gonna ask again. How do some of these amounts get so outrageous? After 30 days or 60 days, do we not just cut the losses and move on, or how do they get so big? Are they businesses?
Some could be. I think the largest one I can remember, and I'm just scanning through this, I think was just under 2,000 at 1,800.
Yeah.
But, well, let me take that back. You got one guy with about 4,500. So, but they get up for different use. It's all based on usage for your water. So there's just a rate, and it's based on gallons used. There are some businesses in here. There's individuals in here. So it's how some of these have gone up.
KFC 2871, Kentucky Fried.
No,
Oops,
I
can I
don't think
say that
that's,
on TV?
I don't think that's our group down there, but we'll look at that. But please make sure to review this, and like I said, if you see of anybody, please reach out to them and let Allison or the team down at Water Billing know. Moving on to number 12, Resolution 2025-09, a resolution to accept Portico Place, Section 2, Phase 2, and re-subdivision of common areas A and B of Section 2, Phase 1. This received a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission on March 25th, 2025. This is just like it sounds. It's acceptance of a section for Portico Place and re-subdivision of the common area, of part of their common area. Does anyone have any questions? And then number 13, Resolution 2025-10, a resolution to amend the employee handbook. Andrew, do you want to walk us line by line through every single change?
Well, thankfully, there's only a few. The first one is related to the ability to charge back fees to employees related to direct deposits. So in Dayforce, each employee manages their own profile. So they put in their own banking information, and when there is an account that's entered incorrectly, the city is charged currently a $35 fee per occurrence. And so this would amend the handbook to state that if the error is on the end of the employee, meaning they didn't enter their own account number correctly, or whether it was checking or savings, that fee would be passed along to them. So some accountability to make sure that your banking information is correct. If the error is on our end, where we have entered incorrectly, we would not pass along those fees. So that is the section 7.9E that you'll see there in your notes. The second change is section 7.13B, and this is a very small change, but it clarifies something that came up in some recent training meetings. Our battalion chiefs in the fire department are classified as salaried exempt employees. So if you, in layman's terms, if you just think of a regular salaried employee, that's how we classify our battalion chiefs. And we needed to establish the fact that they actually work a 56-hour work week and not a 40-hour work week. And so this would amend our handbook to reflect the fact that they work a 56-hour week as a part of their current structure, and it will allow them to accumulate compensation time that would be appropriate for someone who works a 56-hour week as opposed to a 40-hour week. And then our last section is, sorry, there's two more. Section 7, can you scroll down just a little bit there, Glenn? Thank you. 7.14. When a member of our public safety team, whether it be police or fire, deploy out to assist other communities, we needed to put some standard work behind how those hours are structured, right? So that we pay somebody correctly and consistently from department to department. We did not have language in our handbook to reflect that. And I think after Chief Beasley's most recent deployment, that's when we realized we probably need to structure this so that if a salaried person were to be deployed, we would have some language to know exactly how we're going to pay them. And then the final section is section 8.24, which addresses the fact that if in situations where an employee might be arrested or charged with a crime, that our standard practice would be to put them on paid administrative leave pending the outcome of the investigation. And we wanted to just have some language that really clearly defined when those circumstances happen, what we were to do. As I've said before, and I'll say it again here, a handbook is a living, breathing document, and it certainly isn't one that we will capture every single example. But these were a few that we felt were important enough that we wanted to make a change. Any questions on those?
Thank you, Andrew.
He done good, didn't
He did. We should definitely promote him out of police and fire, put him in HR. Moving on to 14, Resolution 2025-11, a resolution of the City of Laverne Board of Mayor and Aldermen to declare property owned by the city to be surplus to the city's needs and directing disposal of the same. And that is some furniture from Public Works that's no longer needed. This
Michael's getting rid of all that history.
He knows he loves it. But you can see all the photos there. This is standard of what we do every month or every couple months. Does anyone have any questions? Yes, Bruce.
I need to point out, there's actually two sections here. Section 1 of the resolution is for used office furniture that we're going to try and sell on Gov Deals. Down in Section 3 is a second, which is the older furniture that we really, it's junk, quite frankly, and so we're just going to we're just going to get rid of it, throw away as solid waste instead of trying to sell it.
Move that into Bo's office. He could use it. Okay, moving on to 15, Resolution 2025-12, resolution to write off uncollectible property tax accounts. Total on this is $11,065, and this is property taxes are only collectible for 10 years after they've been sent to Chancery Court for collection. So that's what these are. You can see them. If you have any questions, Danielle can definitely she can field those. Moving on to number 16, we've got the appoint or remove board and committee members. We've got the Beautification and Arts Advisory Committee. We've got 2 terms that expire at the, they already expired on April 30th. And we have no applicants at this point. This will be advertised on Channel 3 and on social media. If we receive any applicants, then that will be on the agenda for Tuesday night.
The current applicants do wish to stay on.
They do?
Yes.
Okay.
We just got that update yesterday, I think it was.
Okay. With that, that is the agenda. So we're going to move on to Board of Mayor and the Mayor and Alderman comments. Alderwoman Hobbs.
I don't think I have anything.
Okay. Alderman Coates.
Nothing this evening.
Alderman Haas.
Nothing.
Vice Mayor, no.
Always something, huh?
Absolutely.
I'm looking at the weather. Please, golly, looking good.
He wasn't earlier.
My electronic dumpster for Saturday at the senior center, I guess I'll have to wait till maybe tomorrow. If this happens again, we're gonna blame it on Miss Donna. Take the pressure off of me. So I'll put it out there on social media, but we'll see.
First off, you have to refer to her now as the award-winning Miss Donna Bebout of the Laverne Library.
Yes.
So, yes, proper terminology. If you would just find the remote and make sure that you've got batteries in it for the dome, that should be able to take care of
I think that it's
everything.
time to hand that thing off to Alderwoman Hodge. She has been up here long enough, and she needs to be in charge of that. And,
Make sure it's updated also.
I just wanted to thank all the departments involved with the Touch Truck event. From what I have heard from many parents, it was a very fun time. Lots of blowing of vehicle horns, and it was a very, very fun time. So, very glad to hear that. With that, I'll call this meeting adjourned.